Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Beatrice Hippolyte and this is your world. Hello everyone, our guest for today is Miss Dianne Speede.
Yes.
I said it right?
Dianne Speede.
Dianne Speede. And so we have the privilege to have Miss Speede with us today, and she's gonna talk about domestic violence, but most likely about your business.
Yes.
So before I even say anything else, so I give you the mic. Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, so my name is Dianne Speede, and I am the CEO and founder of Heaven's Horizons Foundation, which started in September of 2020. The reason why we started the foundation is due to a family member of mine who experienced domestic violence, and also two friends that went through the journey of this problem that's plagued around the world. And it made me want to start something to try to help communities that go through domestic violence.
Because domestic violence is very serious, and we have way too many people experiencing domestic violence every year. According to research, 1 in 4 women experience domestic violence, severe physical violence every year, and 1 in 7 men. Because sometimes people think that, domestic violence is something that only related to women, but men do experience domestic violence as well. And according to research, 1 in 7 men experience severe physical violence by an intimate partner in their lifetime. And 10 million people. Can you imagine that?
It's a lot.
It's a huge number.
And that's for the ones you may know about. There's many that goes undetected and
exactly
reported.
So when I read 10 million people experience domestic violence every year, not worldwide, in the US only, it's a large number. And for the demographics, they say young women between the age of 18 to 24 are at the highest risk of domestic violence. Low-income households are more likely to experience domestic violence. And the LGBTQ community, they are at a very great risk of experiencing domestic violence. For the physical and emotional impact, injuries, domestic violence can result in serious injuries, including head trauma, broken bones, and international injury. People think, so it's like, domestic violence, for many people, they're like, oh, it was just an argument. But it get, oftentimes it get physical. And when it get physical, people can be left with serious injuries. So mental health, domestic violence can lead to depression, anxiety, and substance abuse. Because sometimes, when people are in so much pain, they don't know what else to do to numb that pain. They will just plunge themselves into alcohol or substance abuse. So it's a very serious concern that people need to bring awareness about it. And I'm glad that you had a family member, who had the experience, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna do something about it. Tell us a little bit about your company.
This is now 5 years of having Heaven's Horizons. The ultimate goal is to have housing for families, well, basically women and children that experience domestic violence, which can sometimes lead to homelessness. Right now, many of these families stay in shelters, which is not always safe. So the plan and the goal is to have housing where we can prepare a safe and comfortable living environment, not a shelter setting, more like a home where we can provide programs for them. Well, I started creating my own programs. I'm not quite finished because it's a lot of work, but we're trying to create these programs. And for the past 5 years, what we've been doing is clothing drives and book bag giveaways. That's basically, and it's getting bigger because a lot of people donate to the organization. Sometimes I even take a one-way flight to the south where my family resides, and we go picking up a whole bunch of donations from the southern states and head on back to New York. So by the time I have all these donations from everyone, from family, friends, co-workers, neighbors, whoever it may be. We have an abundance of clothes and shoes and bags and baby items. It's a lot, and it's becoming bigger and bigger every year.
So what is the target population? Do you only serve women and kids, or
So
you serve
the clothing
men
drive
as well?
is for everybody.
Okay.
Because like you mentioned, men also go through domestic violence too, and homelessness that's rapid in I guess in the United States. There's a lot of
Yes.
homeless people.
Mhm.
So sometimes they come to the clothing drives and they're so happy to come and collect, they just come and shop. We have bags for them and they just go out into wherever we are and just pick whatever they need.
The clothing drive, so how often you have it? It's yearly, or twice?
It's yearly, but we've done it twice. In 2023, we did one in Manhattan and one in Brooklyn. We did one in December that was also in Brooklyn at a church. I forget the name of the church.
And you accept all type of clothing?
Yes.
So
once it's in good condition,
okay.
If you would wear it, then you can pass it over to Heaven to Rising Foundation.
Okay, so regardless, if it is for male, female, or
babies,
kids,
all the way
babies,
to,
or so if I were to donate some clothing, so what would be the location?
Usually, how it goes is I myself pick it up. That's how we do it.
Oh,
right
so
now.
if I were to give some clothes away, so I'll contact you.
It's a number you call, and I personally come and get it.
And you make arrangement to come and pick it up. Okay, so we'll get that number, at the end of the show. So what is the vision and the mission statement of your organization?
The vision is to get the housing. The mission is to have these families housed and safe, away from shelters, because the shelters are not always the safest place for them to reside. And this is coming from the people that actually live in shelters. It's not safe for kids. They see drugs, they see a lot of things that they shouldn't be seeing, children.
But one thing that I understand, especially for women with children, shelter may be one of the quickest way for them to be placed in a safe housing.
It's a temporary fix.
If you have any issue, you go to the shelter. So you will be quick to be placed in a safe environment.
Yes, and the clothing drive, basically when women decide to leave their abuser, a lot of times they leave with the clothes on their back. So when they go into the shelters, domestic violence shelters, they don't have anything. They just have what they're wearing, because it's like a quick getaway, once in a lifetime kind of thing, so that he doesn't catch you, or the person who's abusing doesn't catch you.
So do you work with those domestic violence shelters, or?
I don't work, but I'm connected to them in some ways. I have people that work in shelters.
Okay. So let's say, for example, if I were to be placed in one of those shelters and I have a need for clothes, how your company will be able to assist me?
Well, they'll call, they'll always reach out, and we'll make arrangements.
Okay.
I personally won't go to the domestic violence because you're not supposed to know where they are, right? For safety.
For safety reasons.
So me giving, I can meet up with somebody and they now will distribute the clothes to the people that need it. But as far as me having a space where you can come, anyone is welcome to come. We'll have a space, we'll put up flyers, and we'll just start promoting that, we're having a clothing drive on this day in this area, and they're more than welcome to come and shop.
Okay. So what types of services and programs does your organization offer to survivor and domestic violence, different than what you already mentioned?
So I'm still working, like I said earlier, working on my programs. But as far as the mental health, we have that, but we don't actually counsel people because we're not really in a space. So let's just say someone reaches out and says that this one's going through something, I can call and make a connection for them to go and like a referral, and they can go and get assistance that way.
Okay. Can you describe your emergency shelter program, including capacity, length of stay, and services?
So the goal, because I want it to be a housing program, not just a temporary thing, we have the vision, I should say, is having a house with maybe 6 to 7 units where families can go in there and basically start their life over. As far as the programs are concerned that we're trying to get in place, that's what we're currently working on, because we actually don't have the housing yet.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay, so but the people that you service, are they in the city or the entire New York?
Wherever they are. Because how we do it when we have these events, the flyers go out. Some people put it on an Instagram page, Facebook page, so anyone anywhere can see it, and they're welcome to come. So even if we have a event in Manhattan, some people from Brooklyn, Queens, upstate, wherever you are that you feel you need services in that aspect of clothes, you can come and get what you need.
Okay.
And also in August, we also have book bag giveaways. Last year we did one. We had over 350 book bags. The book bags always come with supplies.
That's for back to school.
Yes. And we have like, you know, we do fun things for kids. We have like the cotton candy machine. We have the icy machine. We try to make it fun.
Okay. What about Christmas? You do some type of
Christmas,
special
well, we
events
did
for Christmas too?
Yeah, so this December, the same church, I can't remember the name of the church, we would have like a Santa Claus, the elves. I can show you a video of it, but yeah, and that was in a big church space in Brooklyn. And we have gifts. Even though you're shopping for clothes, we still have like an area where there's a Christmas tree and there are gifts that's wrapped up for boys and girls. We have them separated with ages.
Most of the events that you normally have are also posted on your website. So if I want to go and
You'll
see
it.
exactly what you do,
it's
so
there.
I can just go to your website and glance through.
Yes. And I forgot to mention one, I think is a big part. We also always have hot food. Hot food, from rice, chicken, stew, chicken, name it, we have it.
At any given time or specific seasons?
Every December we have it. And then we'll do it, if
What
we do
about
it twice a year.
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, no, just December, and then we'll do it like May or June. So the first one for 2025 is gonna either be in May or June. I can't give a date and the time because I haven't figured that part out. Right now I'm collecting donations.
Oh, okay. But Thanksgiving, so it's a no.
Yeah, not to say I'm ruling it out, but I always do it because it's a lot of work. It's a lot
of work, and you need money too.
Yes. Right now that's coming from my paycheck. Everything I do is coming directly from my paycheck. Because
it's close to your heart.
Yes.
If I may put it that way. That's very good, because I remember, years ago, I assisted somebody, who was facing domestic violence. But one thing that I've seen within this area, when people financially depend on other people or on the abuser, they don't know what to do. Because at the end of the day, financially, he's the one doing everything. He's the one paying. I'm saying he, but it can be she too. So if the abuser is the one paying for the rent, provide the food in the house, financially everything depends on that person. Of course, even though that that it's bad for you, the condition, the beating, the cursing, the putting you down, so it's taking a toll on you, but you still cannot leave, because at the end of the day, my life depends on that person. So what should I do? And I remember slowly, she was very patient. Slowly. So she didn't have a high school diploma at that time. So we worked together into getting her high school diploma, and later on look for job placement. And it's hard, because while you try to assist that person, but you don't want to make any bad move for the person not to get hurt more than she or he was already getting hurt. So you have to be very, you have to use some tact, around it. So, but my greatest joy of that situation is like to see that at the end of the day, she completed the GED program. She had her high school diploma, and a year later, she was able to take the HHA training, and work as a room attendant. And when she finally saved some money on her own, I don't know how she saved money, because I didn't want to get involved into keeping her money. So she probably used somebody else. And now she was financially stable. And she was able to make her own move. And she moved out and went to the room from somebody. Few years later, somebody screamed out loud my name. I was walking in the middle of Flatbush and Glenwood when somebody screamed out my name. I look around, I didn't know the person out of nowhere. She's like, "You don't remember me?" And I'm like, "No." And when she said, "You remember?" And I'm like, wow.
Nice.
So, but I was walking, she was driving. She said, "So where you going? I'm gonna drop you." And I said, "No, I need to take public transportation." So I was so happy. And now you may not understand exactly what you're doing, or other people may not understand what you're doing, but Miss Speede, I must tell you, what you're doing is valuable.
Thank you.
And sooner or later, you're gonna see how many people are gonna come around and show their gratitude. Because it's not an easy work, I must say.
It's not. And I do. I mean, like, even when we have the clothing drives, you have people that come back the following year. And I'm like, I remember you from last time or whatever. And we have these little conversations. And then even with the stories that they share, that's how we know. Because as we're walking with them as they're shopping and they share their stories, it's heartbreaking. And the kids, even with the kids having to see mom being abused, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, by mommy being abused or daddy being abused, emotionally those children are being abused as well.
Of course.
I salute you. So
thank you.
You are doing a great work. My next question, what type of counseling and therapy services do you offer, and how are they tailored to meet the needs of those survivors?
So my health provider or my mental health partner that's in part of the Heaven's Horizons, she is licensed to treat or interview or counsel people. But because we don't have that space, we don't do it. I mean, the most I can tell you is that when we go to the counseling, the clothing drives, she's there walking and counseling sometimes with them and just walking and talking to them. But as far as somebody coming to an office space, we don't have that as yet either.
That will come.
Yes.
But if somebody is in a great need, do you have other agencies that you can refer them to?
Well, I will speak to the person who is part of my team, which is a licensed mental health counselor, and then she can like refer them to wherever they need to go.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because it's very important. Sometimes, emotionally, so it's like people may be in great need.
Yes.
So, and not knowing or not having a place to send them to can be a challenge. No. But I'm glad that you have that.
Well,
in
the
place.
number that you'll give at the end, when they call and we kind of know and figure out what they're going through, we can always make those connections.
Okay. That's good to know. So my next question, can you describe your organization community engagement effort, including outreach, education, and partnership?
Well, the partnership is basically with NYPD. A lot of times they'll get me the spaces to have their clothing drives. And I just recently went to Albany and made connections with some of the Congress people. So I'm trying to work with them now to see if they can also support my vision and mission as well.
Okay.
But as far as like everything else, it's basically me either looking for spaces. Everything is basically I'm doing a lot by myself. So
when you say that you're looking for spaces, so you look like, for a location to have like, to say, what, this is the physical address.
Yes.
For the organization.
No, this is the address we're having the events. The events. So like the clothing drives are done, whatever borough they tell me to do it in, I'll do it. But they'll help me find a location to have it.
But it's a temporary location.
Yes, it's just for the event.
But you need a permanent location.
Yes, and that's when I get my buildings and my houses. That's the plan.
It's very important. So my dear, hey, if you can have like 5 staff members or what have you, like, hey, if I'm gonna have like a counselor, dear, yes. like maybe twice or 3 times a week, so I know, so it's dear. So everybody gonna have a place where they can come either twice or 3 times a week or every day. Why not?
Well, if I had the space that I envision, I want to always have an area set up with stuff that they're going to need, where they can just come and help themselves. That's one of my visions. So right now, like I said, it's just either everything coming from me, or I have 2 other females on my team. So the 3 of us together make it work. But it's just the 3 of us. So now we'll have maybe other family and friends that may want to come in and assist us for the day to help us get the event together. But it's just 3 people on my little team.
So, but how you get, so volunteered? So, do you normally ask local?
No, so usually I'll have a loose leaf binder with the paper, and a lot of the guests that's coming to shop from shelters and stuff, they'll sign their name. So when they come and see the food or the activities for the kids or whatever, they get all excited. So now they're like, hey, can we help you guys next time? Sure. So the list that we have, we'll contact them and they'll come back and help.
Okay, that's good. Because I've, a few times I volunteered, so it's the last time I volunteered, was that a shelter? No. So it was like, but what they do, they put bags together. And go to the
like care bags. They have like lotions and toothbrushes and stuff like that.
But they will deliver at the women prison.
Yes. That's another big
so
thing.
I never go to deliver with them, but I will go and put those care bags together. So it's like there are times I'll spend a whole Saturday.
Yes.
Sometimes it can be the food pantry. They
Yes.
have a huge, food pantry. So we go and we do bags.
Yes.
So they give you a list of items that you can place in each bag.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh girl, I have to tell you, I love it.
Yes. It's a good feeling when you can help, especially if you're in a good place. We all probably had struggles in our life at one point, but you can't forget. And they're people and human beings. I don't think anyone purposely wants to be abused, but these things happen. And because sometimes they're so fearful of expressing these because, they're afraid of getting hurt more, who knows? But sometimes they do want help, but you can't force them to leave. You can't force them to leave. A lot of times they don't have a place to go.
Yeah, because financially they don't have any stability.
Yes.
So they depend on that person.
But if we can continue what I'm doing with my organization, and the funding is a big thing. If we had the funding, I could probably do a whole lot more, right? But I can only do but so much. Like I said, everything is coming from my paycheck, and I still have to also handle my personal well-being. So.
And I like when you say that you cannot force them to leave. So we only can work with them and encourage them. Sometimes, you encounter people who say, you know what, this is the last time, I'm gonna allow him or her to put his or her hand on me. And before even know it, the abusers, they know how to manipulate.
They do.
Before even know it, so flowers gonna be on the table, they apologize. Honey, so that will never happen again. They probably will create an opportunity to make sure they have the best intimate moment ever. And before even know it, so you fall into the same thing until the next beat up happen.
Yes.
So it's a challenge. It is really a challenge. But I'm glad that there are people out there who understand that it is a challenge and they're willing to help. Like people like you. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
What role your organization play in raising awareness about domestic violence and promoting prevention efforts?
So when we have the events, that's when we speak to them in the moment. Because sometimes they'll share their story to us, what they're going through. And the mental health counselor that I have, she speaks 2 different languages. So even if you speak another language other than English, she's able to express what you can do, things you can do, places you can go, because like I said, she's the mental health work person to get assistance if you need to.
Okay. So the next question is, what are the primary sources of funding for your organization, and how you
You're looking at her.
How do you diversify your funding streams?
I am the funding stream. So for right now, that's what it is. There's no other avenues. If I knew how to write grants, I probably would be able to do more, but I don't know how to write grants. I would need a grant writer to assist me. So I know a lot of times, certain times of the year, they do give out funding, but I don't know how to do a grant. And I've been doing, Instagram? I've been on Instagram, just asking people. And you get a lot of hits. Everybody knows how to write a grant. There was one person who got me a business plan together, whatever. And she said that she also does grant writing. Well, it's been 9 months and I haven't heard anything back. So I don't know.
Okay, so you need a good grant writer.
Yes. A good grant writer.
Yeah, because there are people who are good at writing grants. Yes. I work with somebody who used to, do that at the job at that time. So I've heard that whenever that lady, put a grant together.
Yes. So maybe she still does it.
You don't have to worry. Maybe she still does it. You never know. So we'll discuss, that after the show.
Thank you.
What are the most significant challenges your organization faces in terms of funding and resources development? I understand that you just mentioned the grant, so you are the only person, financially kind of fitting in. So beside those challenges, are there other challenges that you are facing?
I mean, actually, I've been out looking for housing. Sometimes the housing, it costs a lot. The vision that I have. some of these buildings are like 1 point something million to get started. That's one of the challenges. I'm thinking another challenge, sometimes even finding a space to have the events could be a challenge as well, because sometimes the spaces are small. And if I had a place, so another thing, I have to put all these things in a storage unit, which again, I have to pay for to hold all the donations. If I had a space that I can have for myself.
Or you don't have a storage space.
Right. Everything's at a storage unit.
That you have to pay for, but you don't have your own spot.
And sometimes I have to have like 3 storage units because it's so much. If I had my own space, that would be less of a challenge.
Yeah, so you definitely need a good grant writer. You need that money, to continue with your project. So now, it's like, I don't think I have any more questions. However, I do offer you this platform to talk about your business in depth.
Well, I mentioned earlier, it's a nonprofit, and everything for Heaven's Horizons Foundation is basically done by my little team. We have 3 people on board. The volunteering is always accepted. There's a number, I wrote the number down there, that you can call if you have any questions, if you want to discuss grant writing with me. You can call 917-207-9233. 917-207-9233. And there you will speak to a live person. There's no prompts. You'll speak to a live person, and if no one answers, you can leave a message and you'll get a call back. I think I covered that part.
Okay, and so your website?
Yes, it's Heaven's Horizons Foundation.org, and the email is Heaven's Horizons Foundation @gmail.com. Heavens with an S, Foundation, Heaven's Horizons Foundation @gmail.com. But call the number. You'll get someone in person. So on the website, we have an area that you can donate, but I tried it before I came to the podcast, and it has like a error message. So I spoke to my web guy who started it, and he's gonna fix it. So for right now, you can just call that number directly until we can figure that part out.
If I were like to donate, so what are the channels?
So on the website, there's that link to donate. That's one. And then we had because I haven't accepted
Apple Cash, Zelle, Cash App. So
it was actually the GoFundMe that we were working on to start that this year.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, because nowadays people tend not to bother with anything that is not easy. People tend not to bother with it.
Well, the GoFundMe is fine. So if they call the number,
somebody may choose not to go online to follow the protocol, but it will be easier for that person to just do the Apple Pay, or the Zelle, or the Cash App.
Yes, it's true. So when we get that up and running again, then I'll be able. But they can call. If you call the number, once we have that, you give me your information, I can always do a call back. That's how it can have to work for right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so hey, you just heard Miss Speede, and she needs assistance, she needs your help, whatever that it can, just pinch in. $5, $10, $20. You will be surprised how much different $10 can make.
Yes. Anything is appreciated. Like I said, I'm so used to doing it on my own, but one day I hope I can be blessed with a grant, a space, so I can have these families out of the shelters and in a better space in their life.
Anybody who can help her, please reach out. So it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the work you do.
Thank
you for your time, dedication, and trust me, that will pay off.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. Thank you for listening.
It was a pleasure to have you one more time. It was with you, Dr. Beatrice Hippolyte, with Your World.